With the season into its final quarter, there was still plenty to play for in round 18 of the Aviva Premiership. The round kicked off on Friday at Franklin's Gardens, with table-topping Northampton hosting Wasps. It was the visitors who got off to a flying start, with Christian Wade running in a superb score from inside his own half. Saints struck back immediately with Stephen Myler picked out George North with a perfectly weighted crossfield kick. An Alex Lazowski penalty and a second Wade try put Wasps 17-5 ahead. Lazowski and Myler then exchanged penalties before the match's major talking point. North put in for his second score by Samu Manoa before being knocked out cold by a stray leg from Nathan Hughes. The latter deemed to be in the wrong by referee Craig Maxwell-Keys and shown a red card for his troubles. A penalty try and a score from Alex Corbisiero followed to put Saints in control. And despite Wade's hat-trick try giving Wasps a glimmer of hope, the scores from Ken Pesey and a brace from RC Tuala put the result beyond doubt. Northampton winning by 52 points to 30. On Saturday there was a crucial clash in the race for a top 4 place as Leicester hosted Exeter Chiefs. Henry Slade struggled with the boot in the first half for Exeter. His opposite number Freddie Burns was right on the money though, slotting 5 penalties to see his side 15-3 ahead at the break. A Thomas Waldrum try at his old stomping ground got the Chiefs back into it. However, after 2 second rows, Sebastian de Chavez and Jeff Parling combined, the hosts had some breathing space once again. There was still time for Exeter to get one of the scores of the season though, through Will Chudley. Slade with the fine break and offload to his half-back partner. And the fly half would provide his side with some comfort on leaving Welford Road, and losing bonus point with the final kick of the game. There was a bumper crowd for London Irish at the Madejski for the St Patrick's Day clash versus Newcastle Falcons, and they needed to wait only 2 minutes for the first try from Halani Alika. Another try from Scott Steele followed 10 minutes later. 2 sin bins for Irish halted their progress during the first half though, Shane Geraghty and David Pace the guilty parties. Newcastle couldn't capitalise though, managing only a couple of penalties from Tom Catterick, and it was Irish who completed the first half-point scoring. The man to go over this time, Andrew Fendi. 19-6 to Irish at the break, but Newcastle piled on the pressure with an impressive second-half performance. Replacement Chris Harris stretching over the line to make it 19-14. Both sides finished an eventful game with 14 men after 2 more replacements were given yellow cards. A late Adam Powell try and conversion got them to within a point, but Irish took the spoils 22-21. A world record crowd was at Wembley Stadium to see Saracens face Harlequins, and some were still finding their seats when Quins went ahead through Jack Clifford. The lead was short-lived though, with Nick Evans miscuing his conversion. Saracens muscled their way in front through Chris Wiles. And shortly after, Chris Ashton was in on the act, ruddering through and dotting down. Saracens took a 13-point lead into the second half thanks to the boots of Charlie Hodgson and Alex Good. Ashton and Wiles added further scores in the second half to complete their braces and a bonus point for Saracens. With 5 points in the bag, Billy Vunapola's final minute drive to the line added gloss to a superb performance. The win vaults them up to second place and puts a huge dent in Quins' faint hopes of a playoff spot. After defeats on the road to Leicester and Bath in their last 2 matches, Sale were happy to be back in the familiar surroundings of the AJ Bell Stadium as they continued their campaign for a top-half finish. After James Hook had given Gloucester the early advantage with a penalty, Sharks got the game's first try through Johnny Liotta. Hook's second penalty made it 7-6 to Sale with just over an hour played. But as the game unfolded, it was Danny Cipriani's performance which paved the way for an important home win. When his side won kickable penalties, Cipriani stepped up to make Gloucester pay. He was successful with 1 at the end of the first half and 2 early in the second half. Cipriani was also involved in the game's second try, a beautifully timed pass putting in Josh Beaumont. All in all, a thoroughly satisfying afternoon's work for the Sharks, winners by 23 points to 6. The fate of London Welsh this season has seemed obvious for months now, and unless they could confound the whole of English rugby with a bonus point win over Bath, this was the day their relegation would officially be confirmed. Sure enough, Bath took control from the 11th minute when a driving maul set up the opening try for Rob Webber. And Leroy Houston got try number 2 midway through the first half. The London Welsh players were doing their best to impress a new head coach, with Roland Phillips taking over from the departed Justin Burnell. They got points on the board through a Nick Reynolds try, and at half-time they were still in the game, 10-7 down. Tries in the second half from Sam Burgess, Houston and Alafatu Saliva secured a much-needed bonus point for the visitors in the race for a top 2 finish. But for once, the Exiles had the final word. With 5 minutes left, they went over for their second try, scored by Apeti Fonua. It finished 29-14, 18th defeat in 18 Premiership games for London Welsh. They have 4 more left to try and add to their one solitary point for the season. A look at the table sees Northampton stay top and on course for a home semi-final. Saracens are up to second, with Bath and Leicester making up the rest of the top 4. The Tigers are as high as they've been all season. Harlequins still have an outside chance of top 6, but are beginning to drift away from Sale, who sit in 7th. And the Welsh's fate has finally been confirmed, relegated from the league with 4 rounds still remaining. For all the latest Premiership news, subscribe to the official YouTube channel or head to premiershiprugby.tv.